That's interesting because my DNA couldn't have been in that car because I've never been in that car.
You're saying that's not you?
That is definitely not me. I don't have a shirt like that. I only can't even see the face on that person, but that's not me. Yeah, fuck it, I'll take it. Okay.
On July 18, 2008, Duluth, Georgia police found elementary school teacher and adoptive mother of 3, Genai Coleman, brutally gunned down in a parking lot. The police rushed to investigate what kind of monster could have been behind this ruthless act. Thanks to eyewitnesses, CCTV footage, and DNA tests, the detectives zeroed in on the prime suspect and had a mountain of evidence against him. Little did they know that all their efforts were meaningless, and the true perpetrator would be someone they never could have expected.
No one. We gotta go in that mall. The lady just got shot.
Where at it? Gwinnett Place Mall.
Where the bus station's at.
Is she breathing? Conscious and alert?
Yeah, she moving a little.
Did you see where the person is that did it?
Yeah, he was in a car, but he pulled off. It was like a beige car.
It was 9 p.m. on the 18th of July in Duluth, Georgia, and Genai Coleman was doing what she always did on Friday nights, waiting to pick up her daughter. She had parked her gold Dodge Stratus near Gwinnett Place Mall just outside Red Lobster, where her daughter was finishing her shift. This was her routine. Familiar, safe. But that night, something was off. As Genai sat in her car, a man emerged from a nearby gas station with a gun in hand. Before she could even process what was happening, he was at her window, ordering her to get out of the car. Genai had no chance to react. Before she could even have time to plead or fight back, she heard a gunshot. A single, deafening blast echoed through the lot. The bullet had torn its way through Genai's chest. But the attacker wasn't done. He dragged her from the car and tossed her onto the pavement like she meant nothing, before speeding away in her vehicle, leaving her in a pool of her own blood as she called out in pain for help. Some witnesses rushed to help Genai, while others called 911. When the paramedics arrived, they stabilized her, racing against time to save her life. But just 10 minutes into surgery, Genai succumbed to her injuries. The news shattered the Coleman family. Why would anyone want to kill her? A beloved mother, teacher, and friend who stayed in her lane, avoided trouble, and lived her life with kindness and purpose. So the detectives had just one question. Was this really just a carjacking? The act felt personal, too violent and too bold, more like a crime of passion. But little did they know the investigation was about to take a turn that no one saw coming. While detectives couldn't yet determine if this was a crime of passion or just a random carjacking, one thing was certain. They needed to find Genai's car. For nearly 24 hours, the search turned up nothing. But then, on the 19th of July, 2008, a call came in. Genai's gold Dodge Stratus had been found abandoned, sitting 30 miles away from the crime scene in Forest Park, Clayton County. The car was immediately towed to the crime lab, where forensic analysts began their meticulous examination. The inside of the vehicle looked untouched, nothing out of place, except for one thing. A cigarette butt was wedged under the driver's seat. Now that seemed insignificant at first, but once the detectives knew that Genai didn't smoke, they realized that the cigarette could potentially belong to her killer. If they could extract DNA, they could find exactly who took Genai's life. But the detectives had no idea just how complicated this was about to get. So while forensic teams worked on extracting DNA from the cigarette, detectives turned their attention to the gas station across from the crime scene, hoping CCTV footage had captured the attack. But luck wasn't on their side, as the camera didn't cover the angle that Genai was murdered. So with no usable footage, the detectives turned to witnesses. A bus driver who had been near the scene at the time of the attack had heard the gunshot and then saw a black male dragging Genai out of her car before taking off in the stolen Dodge. She described the suspect as wearing khaki shorts and a white shirt with green sleeves. Luckily for the detectives, a man matching this exact description had been spotted in Forest Park, the same area where Genai's car had been dumped. At the same time, detectives got 2 pieces of surveillance footage of the man from 2 different locations. At the gas station store, the suspect was seen purchasing an item before leaving. But then, he came back to purchase a pack of Bunsen Light Lung cigarettes, the exact same brand of cigarettes that were found in Genai's car.
Welcome back.
Surveillance footage confirmed his movements, tracking him as he abandoned Genai's Dodge in Forest Park. So at this point, the detectives believed that they had everything they needed. They had a suspect, they had video evidence, and they had DNA from the cigarette. They were so close, yet so far from solving the case. When the forensic lab results came back, detectives were hit with a setback. The fingerprints found in Genai's car had no matches. The DNA from the cigarette? Also no matches. Their prime suspect was still a ghost in the system. So with no name, no identity, and no criminal record to match, detectives had one last option: to turn to the public. So, detectives released the surveillance video of the man at the convenience store, hoping that someone would recognize him. By February of 2010, the case had long gone cold. But then, out of nowhere, a breakthrough. A notification from CODIS, the National DNA Database, popped up. The cigarette butt had finally found a match. The suspect had entered the system due to a recent drug conviction. The man was 50-year-old Donald Eugene Smith. He perfectly matched both the witnesses' descriptions and the surveillance footage. With a court order in place, detectives wasted no time, and on the 3rd of February 2010, nearly 2 years after Genai's murder, Donald Eugene Smith was arrested. But they were still far from justice for Genai, to say the least. With solid evidence linking Donald Eugene Smith to Genai Coleman's murder, detectives were confident that they had their guy. Now, they just needed a confession. But what Donald said next, no one saw coming.
Okay, having these rights, you want to discuss it? I can explain this to you.
Yeah, I would like you just to explain to me why I'm here.
Okay. Really, it's about this vehicle, okay? I'm going to ask you questions. Have you ever seen this vehicle before or been in it?
No, I have not.
Have you ever met this woman before in your life?
No, I haven't.
Vehicle you said you've never seen before? And the woman you've never seen before?
Yes.
Okay. Your DNA ended up in that car.
That's interesting, because my DNA couldn't have been in that car because I've never been in that car.
Though it is normal for suspects to deny involvement in a crime, there was something different about this one. The detectives had all the evidence facing Donald, and he just looked them in the face and said no. Donald was adamant of his innocence, and the detectives definitely didn't like that.
The issue we're up against, I was hoping you say, yeah, I saw her, I used to work with her, we hung out for a minute, and that was it, but I left. When I left, she was very much alive. Well, something like that we can somewhat explain away. But when you say you did never even seen her before, how the hell did his DNA get in the car if he didn't even know her?
No, I don't know her. Never seen her.
Sensing that Donald was being deceptive, the detectives played the surveillance video they had of him. But this only boosted his confidence.
I have a picture basically on a computer I want you to look at and let me know if you recognize it as yourself or not, okay?
Sure.
This is the day I'm talking about. You recognize it?
Was it with this guy right here?
Yeah. You're saying that's not me?
That is definitely not me. I don't have a shirt like that. I only can't see the face on the person, but that's not me.
Yet again, Donald stood his ground. So the detectives brought out their next card. And this time, Donald's response threw the case onto a twisted journey that no one expected.
Your cell phone number at the time was 404-200.
Correct?
No, that was not mine. That was my brother's phone number.
Okay, does he live in Gwinnett County?
Yes, he does.
What's your brother's name, sir?
Ronald. Ronald.
Is he older, younger? Does he live at the same address as your parents?
He's my twin.
Twin?
Yeah.
Like born at the same time or identified as that?
Like born at the same time, like identical twins, yeah.
Okay.
Detectives were convinced that Donald was just playing games, but If this was a game, it was a very expensive one.
DNA is split between 10 twins. It's indistinguishable. They share DNA, identical twins. I've never been in that car.
For me or Detective Cruz, how would your DNA get in that young lady's car?
I've never don't know the young lady, never seen her. There would have to be somebody who shares my DNA, obviously.
Conclusion, I'm jumping to what you're saying. If it's somebody shared DNA, then it will have to be either you or your brother.
Obviously.
Okay. What's his phone? What color is his phone?
Look, hold on. I'm not going to implicate nobody else in no crime.
You're not implicating. I'm just asking what color is your brother's phone.
Do you know where he's staying?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do.
Where is that, sir?
I don't know. Well, because now I guess he's going to be the suspect.
No, I need to talk to him.
If your brother did something that stupid, you need to go ahead and just extricate yourself from the whole situation.
You're right. I don't think I need counseling on that. This is a difficult moment.
I understand.
Previously that you would do a polygraph. Do you want to just do that?
No, but I want to know. Now, when I refuse this test, you going to go ahead and book me and take me where you're going to take me to?
Right now, you aren't charged. You are under arrest. I'll tell you what, I'll just go ahead and give you some time. You want some fresh water? No.
Donald indeed had a twin brother. But were the two accomplices? Or was Donald trying to throw his brother under the bus? Or is he telling the complete truth? Hoping to find out, the detectives ran a polygraph test, and Donald failed woefully.
Now, obviously, when we show you the video before, obviously you said it wasn't you. You had mentioned to me that you felt strongly it was your brother.
Yeah, that's my twin. Now, in light of the fact that I had taken this polygraph, I had no reservations about taking that whatsoever. The lady says that it showed deception. When she was asking me the questions, the only thing I kept seeing was my brother doing something like that. It's devastating, actually. As if anyone that we know, mother and father, was to see that same video, anybody that we know that that's him and not me. And not only by demeanor, but certainly by dress.
The detectives played the CCTV footage for Donald's sister, mom, and dad, asking them to identify which of the twins was in the footage. And they said it was indeed Ronald in the footage. Additionally, on a smoke break from the interrogation, Donald hand-rolled his cigarettes, something entirely different from the brand found in Genai's car. So now the detectives were confused because Ronald had no criminal history, so everything pointed to Donald. Ronald was called in for an interview, which he refused, and then he began to dodge the police. They eventually found him hiding in his parents' home. The detectives had focused all of their efforts on Donald, but now, for the first time, Ronald became their new focus. On the 5th of February 2010, Ronald was arrested and brought in for interrogation.
We're in a detention type situation, okay?
Can you, whatever you're gonna say, could you put it on hold for just a little while?
Why is that?
Can you? You say I'm gonna be here for hours, can you just put it on hold for a little while? I think you need to draw some blood or something.
You want him to draw the blood first?
Well,
you tell me what you want to do. I mean, I want to talk to you, but before I can talk to you, I gotta read you your rights.
Well, you don't have to arrest me right now.
What do you mean I don't have to?
Well,
what do you mean, Ronald? Explain to me. I mean, I have to get this done. This is just a formality, and then we can just talk, and that's fine. If you tell me come back in a little while, I'll come back in a little while. But I have to do this by law. I have to.
Well, you wasn't by law when you was.
We were sitting down talking, and we were having a smoke. I have to advise you of your rights. The fingerprints have come back, okay, and the fingerprints are a match. So for us to discuss the matters of the fingerprints and the other things, I have to advise you of your rights. Okay? You have the right to remain silent.
I'm just combobulated right now. I can't.
Okay. All right. I'll leave you with your thoughts, and then I'll come back in and you let me know. But you do understand what I've just read to you, right?
I understand.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, one other thing. So,
yes.
So then my brother can be released?
The truth, though, was that the detectives couldn't release Donald until they were absolutely certain that neither of the brothers was playing games.
Okay. I'll get a different phone for you to use. Unless you want to use yours. I mean, it's your minutes. It's up to you.
I might as well burn them up.
Okay. I'll get it for you. Sit tight.
Hey, a whole lot has happened. They'll be letting Donald go as soon as possible. Well, I ain't going nowhere no time soon. I was trying to get them to at least let Donald go tonight, but it just can't happen quite that fast because it actually made a warrant out for him. So there has to be a process where the district attorney has to get in touch with the judge. It's not like where they can just automatically just release him. But then he's trying to do it before Monday. He's trying to do it. He said he was on the phone trying to do it tonight, but I don't know how it's gonna work out. But what? Yeah. Was that search warrant? The charge is murder. Don't look too good. I hate to say that, but no, it doesn't look too good. Damn, I can't, but my little time is running up on this phone. I tell you this, Dad, I'm in deep shit. Yes, oh yes, oh yes.
Is this something accidental? There's something like that I can almost understand. And I guess that's the question he's saying. Accidental makes more sense, and that's what he was alluding to. You seem to have so much emotion right now. Obviously, you care for someone for 45 years. That's something more that I can understand, but just looking for some understanding.
What was said? What was said that made you, that either set you off? Yeah, I guess the only words I could say, like, maybe set you off or angered you or upset you for things to have gone the way that they did.
I'm not prepared to go to nothing like that. I'm just not prepared to go into nothing like that right now. I'm just not.
Or just because emotionally you can, or is it draining, or?
No, I'm just not prepared to give any kind of a statement.
Okay. Do you know when maybe you might be prepared to talk to us about it? You need some time.
I need to get past the hard.
The what? I'm sorry. Would you like to see your brother?
I just want my brother to go.
Your brother really wants to see you. He misses you and he's worried about you. He asked me, "Can I see my brother? I really like to see my brother." Those are the exact words out of his mouth. I want to see my brother.
You talk to him today?
He's right next door. He's sitting in that room right there.
Are you serious?
I swear to you. I swear to you. He wants to see you.
But you can't let him go.
What I do is when I bring him in, you gotta sit down. Let him see you. He's worried about it.
He can't see me right now.
He's dying to see you, man.
Yeah,
all he wants to do is hug you and tell you that he loves you. And that he's going to be here for you.
Not right now.
So you want me to go next door and tell him that he's 4 feet away from his brother and can't see him?
Yeah, tell him that.
Alright, I'll go over there and tell him. Why don't you get some water, gather yourself together, and see your brother.
From the moment that Ronald stepped into the police station, it was obvious that something was off. He was visibly restless, and that phone call that he made to his loved ones did not seem to make things better. Detectives saw an opportunity, and they thought that the best way to break Ronald down was to put him face to face with Donald. But before bringing him in, they did this.
I wanted to, I don't know if you knew this woman, but this is the woman, okay? And her name was Genai, okay? She had 3 adopted children, all right? She was a school teacher. Her family begged me just to find out what happened. They begged me. And they're very religious people. And they were more just wanted to know why than anger. And they stressed that to me. Okay? Her cousin's a deacon. Now, they're from another state. She had 3 little adopted children. Okay? They just wanted to know why. And I promised them I would at least ask the why. And I perceived it to be accidental. Okay? But I don't know. And I promised them I would ask why. I told him I thought it was an accident. I'll be honest with you. I mean, am I right and accidental?
I can't. I swear I just can't say it right now.
Okay. Will you let me know, okay? Please? Because I made them a promise I would try to just know why. They don't even care about anything else but just to understand what happened and why. Okay? If you need something, just knock on the door.
Okay. Could I
need a tissue?
Trying to push for a confession, the lead detective used Reed Interrogation Technique 7, offering Ronald a socially acceptable reason for the crime. Usually, most suspects jump at this chance, eager to minimize their guilt. But Ronald was so devastated that he shut down completely. So, they sent in Donald.
look? Here you go. Tell you what's gonna happen though. When they take you to the jail, the process, you're gonna see a judge tonight. What time it is, they're gonna take you in front of one. There's a place over there. They'll be the same way because I get about 2:30 in the afternoon. I didn't get over there till I don't know 1 or whatever it was that night. Yeah, yeah, because they took me out to the scene of the crime and everything. These dudes here. And, where were you arrested at? Downtown, right on the corner with the pick up my mail. That's how they knew where to come get me. And the reason they came and got me because of the DNA. We got the same DNA. Mine's in a database, federal database. Because once you're in the federal system, they take that shit before you get out. You know, I'm gonna go see a judge. That's the first thing that's gonna happen. Then they dress you out. They're gonna put you on suicide watch. They do it to all people with serious charges like that. And they put you in like a cell, got a lot of glass on it. And they put you in some, you'll be naked. Except for some gown. That's a padded gown. That's that, you know, that's thick stuff. Just, you know, strap it off. And then like a Velcro. Yeah, and then a padded blanket on a little mat. But yeah. You'll be there for at least 3 days, at least 72 hours. And then somebody come talk to you every day, but you'll be able to see them out there. And in the jail, don't give nobody no motherfucking right now. They got them motherfuckers running around and they have their cars. I'm talking about looking like they getting ready to go on a battlefield. They got so much shit on them. I mean, unbelievable. And also, all of them got them little the guns. I was demanding to let you go, pretty much. I wanted you to go tonight. He said it's just a process that got to be to go through or something, but I mean, because they're gonna let you go. No, I know that. But I was trying to get to do it, like now. You know, let's go now, but it's something about once you was already, a warrant was sworn out. Yeah, you know, they have to go through do the come to the district attorney or something. I said, well, so does that mean till Monday? No, sometime, I don't know. And he said, wait, no, he said, it could happen tomorrow. He said it's a process, it depends on the people.
But their plan didn't work. The twins refused to talk about important details. And when it became clear that they weren't getting anywhere, the detectives separated them again.
difficult for you. I know there's a lot of things that are going through your mind and things that are processing. I understand that. However, this is our only opportunity to get what happened out there out and in a way that people could understand. This is it. After we conclude here in the next few minutes, you'll be taken over to the county jail. And the next time that you see Detective Cruz will be in a preliminary hearing. And it'll be a different setting. He will present everything that he has on the case, which is overwhelming. When I mean video, the DNA,
more video,
the prints, the phone records, the video on the other end where you're seen getting out of the car, wearing the same exact clothing you were at the Quick Trip, the same clothing that the witnesses saw you at the bus stop. I mean, it's overwhelming. I mean, I can't put it any other way. That's why I stress to you the importance of why. People are going to ask. 12 jurors are going to say, okay, wait a second. Why did this happen? And they're going to look at us and we're going to explain. We sat with them. We gave them the opportunity. This is what happened. Some things went wrong. I don't know if some insults were thrown out there. I don't know. You haven't been, the interaction I have with you, what happened out there just doesn't match up to you, but obviously something went wrong. Something went wrong. I'd like to know. Detective Cruz would know. I don't know the family would. The family's not even mad at you. Do you know that? The family, the only thing that family look at stuff like this is closure. You know, this whole time they're in this realm of why did this happen? Why is this going on? They're not mad at you. They just want to know why she had to go away. That's simply put why they want to know. I can't begin. I don't know. I wasn't there. I have no idea what things set you off that day that ended up with you in Forest Park, her here, and her not with her family anymore. Though that's what we're looking at when this is all said and done. She's not here. She has a bunch of children. She had 3 adopted children that she had. She was a church-going lady. She was sitting there waiting on her, I believe her daughter that worked at Longhorns, I believe.
Red Lobster.
I'm sorry, Red Lobster. That's all she was doing, just waiting, minding her own business. And for some reason, her world and your world connected. The reasons why, I don't know. Do I want to know? Yes. I think everybody would like to know. It's important. I don't think you're a cold, calculated murderer. I don't believe that. But something, either she said, you guys had a disagreement, something went wrong at that car, and she's no longer here anymore. And all we're looking to do is essentially find out why. That's it. When it all boils down to it, that's all we want to know.
And I want to say something. I want to say something. Smoke one cigarette.
Okay.
And
we'll come back and talk. Fair enough, Ron. You've been good. Somebody get me a smoke too. Yeah, this one.
Ronald had gone to the bathroom to smoke a cigarette, but the detective who followed him could not believe his eyes. Ronald had lit up the exact same brand of cigarette that was found at the crime scene. So back in the interrogation room, the detectives changed tactics, and they shifted their seating, sitting in front of the camera rather than having Ronald stay there, assuming that if he didn't feel that the camera was on his face, he might let something slip. And they were right.
And why? It was an accident. A straight accident. It was a hair trigger. Whew. It was a hair trigger, and it was an accident.
Okay.
It was an accident. I swear to God, it was an accident. I should have known it was a hair trigger because I had accidentally shot it that morning on accident. And I set out to take a car. It was something I'd done before when I was way younger. At gunpoint.
Right.
But always in my mind, it was if the gun was just for something, so there wouldn't be much resistance. But it was an accident. I was in the hotel room that morning, and the gun went off. I had it in my hand, and it pinned it down. I barely touched them. And the same thing happened later that evening. When I got out, I noticed the police officer. At least he was dressed like a police officer. I guess he was like doing an extra night duty or something. I mean, just an extra job.
Moonlighting, yeah.
Thing.
Right.
And I didn't see him at first when I parked the car. So then I kind of walked towards him because I wasn't sure if it was also police or not. So I walked towards him like I was looking for something. And then I was on the phone. And oh, yeah. I was on the phone. And I tried to play it off like I was looking for something. That's why I started yelling into the phone.
Okay.
And I went back to the car. And I saw him coming up, walking up to the car, and I took off. And I seen him on the radio in the mirror. And so I knew I couldn't get too far. So I left out that parking lot, went down the street, parked in another parking lot, and got out. I went to the hotel, but I did not mean to shoot that woman. It was a hair trigger. And I didn't drag her out of the car. It wasn't like that.
Okay.
The gun went off. She said, "You shot me."
So how was she gonna take her with you, so you?
No, she got out of the car.
Oh, okay.
I didn't drag her out of the car.
Okay, all right.
It wasn't.
Different witnesses see things differently, especially when they hear something.
I did not drag that woman out of the car. Period. I wouldn't care what anyone say. I did not do that.
Right.
I didn't mean for the gun to go off in the first place.
You're just trying to get a car.
She got out of the car. And she said, "Help." And I was getting in the car, and she said, "Help" again. Only lighter this time. And I drove off.
Panicked, right? I'm just trying to get out of there, I would imagine.
I just wanted to get out of there.
That's reasonable.
The woman didn't deserve this. I had no intention on doing that. It went off. Shocked the shit out of me. Because it wasn't drastic. And the only way I would really hurt somebody is if someone was trying to hurt me.
Ronald admitted that he had seen the perfect carjacking victim. A woman, alone, at night, with no one to protect her. He approached Genai Coleman, threatened her with his .357 Magnum, and demanded her car. But then, he claimed, the gun quote-unquote accidentally went off because of its hairpin trigger. But the detectives didn't buy that for a second. Ultimately, the police released Donald, and Ronald was charged with the murder of Genai Coleman. When Ronald Smith took the stand in court, what happened next stunned everyone. His story did a 180, or hell, maybe even a complete 360 back to where we started. Ronald claimed that it wasn't him who murdered Genai Coleman, but rather his twin brother, Donald. According to Ronald, he had nothing to do with the crime. He was simply helping Donald clean up the mess after Donald murdered Genai and stole her car. But there was one major problem. The jury wasn't buying his story. The evidence told a different story, up until the way in which he made his confession. Ultimately, Ronald Smith was found guilty of the murder of Genai Coleman. He was sentenced to life in prison, plus an additional 25 years. Now, if you think this case was horrific, you need to check out my video on the evil wife who plotted the murder of her own husband.